Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to your third favorite podcast, the Steve and Crypto Show, presented by the stevestrout.com. I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. What is happening? You have reached episode 161. And as always, we thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you guys are doing well and that you have been enjoying yourselves. We are almost into the springtime, really. I mean, there's going to be a lot of cool events coming up in the next few months. Things that we can't exactly say yet, that haven't been entirely confirmed, but we have some cool things coming down the pipeline. But you know what you guys can do until then? As always, you can go to our favorite place, and that's patreon.com/Steve Crypto. Go check out some exclusive content waiting for you over there. You can contribute as little as $1 a month to get a variety of content that's not necessarily related to the show. It's not always horror related over there. We do some movie spoiler talk that's not entirely horror. We've talked about concerts we've gone to, board games, all kinds of different things that we've done. Go check it out. There's a lot of things waiting for you. So patreon.com/Steve Crypto. Again, you can support us by following us on social media at CryptoZoo88, at the Steve Strout. We have a Facebook group. We encourage you to join it. There's 1,000 members over there. If you got a project you're working on, like a movie or maybe even a music video or a short film, something that's spooky, as long as it's not spooky, nerdy, as long as it's not like a politically charged movie or a religious thing, then we're all for it. So go ahead and join the group, find the Steve and Crypto Show on Facebook, and be part of the group.
And of course, we have merch.
As always, you can go to Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch. Again, Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch. Go check out a couple t-shirt designs. We got magnets for your fridge. We got mugs for your coffee. We have coasters. We have tote bags. We have a variety of things waiting for you. I'm not going to list everything. Go check it out.
Yeah, go look.
Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch.
Okay, well, with all that being said, we are back after a little delay. As documented, I went down to CreepIE Con. I went CreepIE Con down in Southern California and had an amazing time, which we'll talk about. And I came back with the old Rona. That son of a bitch is just still lingering. It kind of took me out of work and out of commission for a few extra days. Like we should have dropped this for you guys about a week ago, but that goddamn COVID did a number on me. I'm finally getting my voice back and ready to talk to you guys and talk to crypto. It feels like it's been a long time.
Yeah, it has. But I mean, I think we all understand. I mean, when I had COVID, it slowed me down quite a bit, and I didn't really want to talk to anybody when I was that sick anyway. So
I mean, I don't really want to talk to anybody anyways, except our listeners and you, but just like generally.
Just assume I'm sick all the time. I don't want to talk.
Yeah, pretty much. So what have you been up to? Have you watched anything good? Has any interesting news been announced?
Yeah, there's some news for sure. I haven't been watching a ton of horror. I did watch that film Dark Match that's on Shudder, and I know you watched it as well. We've both checked that out now. And that one was fun. I haven't really watched a whole lot of horror besides that lately, unfortunately. But I have some things on my list. I want to check out The Substance. I keep hearing good things about that, but there is some news. Yeah, there are a few things that we can talk about, like This is real quick and brief. There's not really a whole lot else to say, but it looks like there is a Friday the 13th series still in the works. Looks like it's coming out through Peacock as a Peacock original now. And I'm not seeing the A24 logo anywhere at this point. So, and don't like, I'm not saying this 100% confirmed, but it looks like it might just be a Peacock original now and not a collaboration project. But they have announced what looks like uh, the actress for the mother, Pamela Voorhees, which will be Linda Cardellini, who some of you may know from Grandma's Boy.
Was she? Who was she? I'm trying to place who she is in my brain.
She's been in some other things too. I'm trying to think of what else she's been in, to be honest. But Grandma's Boy is like probably my favorite one I've seen her in.
So we're getting a Friday the 13th series again. Finally.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought last time it was like as good as done, but I thought like they like started filming or something, or they were about to. Then bam, it died.
There's been so many problems with the rights and involving that series, you know. So
Linda Carlini. Okay, she's from Scooby Doo and
Scooby Doo. That's right.
And
I was trying to think of what else.
She's in like the Avengers movies.
Yeah, she's Hawkeye's wife. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like her. She's cool. She's cool. That's good. So hopefully this shit happens. They finally make the damn show because
let's hope. Yeah. So
is there any other news about it, or is that just all?
That's about it at this point, is that she's been announced. And then it looks like it might just be a solo Peacock original program at this point. And then if you want to switch it up to a different franchise, there's a lot of hype and a lot of discussion involving Scream right now, involving Scream 7. They announced the release date, and I should have that exact date for you guys. I know it's February of 2026, and I mean there's a lot of discussion that's kind of leaving things up in the air at this point.
What have you heard?
Well, okay, February 27th, 2026 is when we're getting it. So they announced the return of both Roman and Stu. So Roman was the killer in Scream 3, and then Stu, of course, we know from the original. So the kind of the thing that makes that a little odd is that, you know, one character everyone wants to be alive still, including myself, and the other one was clearly shot in the head, dead. And so when you, at least for me, when I hear that Roman is returning, I assume that it will be a flashback scene, or maybe a dream sequence, something like that. But I'm hoping that Stu is not the same, not just a dream, or just a prequel scene of some sort. And they've announced the return of what are their names? The twins from the last one, or from the last two. Randy's niece.
Oh, right.
Mindy, Mindy Meeks or something like that. Mindy, and I can't remember her brother's name, but
yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just
so though they're both coming back. So bad with the names on these characters right now. Sorry. But yeah, so it's just kind of leaving things up in the air, up for discussion at this point. Like, people are trying to figure out what they're doing. I've been watching plenty of theory breakdowns on YouTube from a variety of people, just discussing what they think they might be doing, what direction they're going, possibility of like this cult of Stu, or maybe his sister being involved. Even mention of the of one of Gail's old cameramen being involved, being a part of the cult.
We'll see.
I
There's so many.
I
There's
think they
so
should
many
put
rumors that people are just throwing around there, and some of them are, sticking to the wall, and people are trying to run with it, and who knows? I'd
here's
rather
my
not
rumor.
know.
Here's my rumor that I hope sticks to the wall. Jay and Silent Bob, who have been featured in a Scream film before, they're part of the cult.
That'd be interesting.
And Suzanne as well. Suzanne the monkey. Because market research says that people love monkeys.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens with it because every other week there's a different rumor or some different casting or
I think they're
is
just
this
trying to
person coming back or how is this person? They're just trying to keep people interested.
keep people talking about it, keep it relevant.
Mhm.
Matthew
Because it's
Lillard has
easy
already
to,
said that if he was in the film, that he would lie straight to your face, and he's announced it. I mean, everybody has clearly said now that he is a part of the film, but
right.
I'm just I'm hoping they're not letting us down too hard with how they're including him.
Well, you got about a year to see, so
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
One theory mentioned, and I like this, would be kind of a Hannibal Lecter approach where he is alive, but he's in prison, and he's been kind of been, either people have been getting help from him that way, or people are going and talking to him just for clues or whatever. That'd be kind of neat.
But like nobody knew he was alive.
Yeah, that would be kind of odd. I don't know how they would keep that quiet for so long.
Let's just wait and see. I mean,
Yeah,
people are gonna watch it. I'll watch it,
definitely.
but I'm gonna go in. I probably won't have very high hopes. So if it's decent, then it'll be a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in all hyped up and excited and it just be dumb, just be not good, and just be pissed off and not wait around for Scream 8.
I mean, the last two, the reveals were not the greatest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Wasn't really excited about who the killers were.
Then they just like, how are they gonna explain the main characters being gone? Like the sisters are out of the movie, like gone.
Yeah,
They were kind of building them as like the main, the
I
main
know.
characters of the new Scream, you know, updated universe, and then they pieced out.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're moving locations, but yet they're bringing in characters from 5 and 6, which, at least in the sixth one, they were in New York. So the twins that were, let's say, in the New York area are now going to be somehow included in this new story that's in a
They're
new
gonna make them more
town or
important
new
in the
city or
whole.
whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering how they're all connecting them, because um I mean, I think it's going to be in Indiana. I think is where the story is taking
oh,
place. Yeah,
cool.
it's kind of weird. And then I thought that
Was
Sydney
the
was,
brother's name Chad?
yeah, Chad.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought Sydney was living in Seattle in one of the last couple movies. Like, there's a part where she just has like a phone call, and it kind of looked like she was in Seattle, but or I thought she even mentioned
Why
it.
was there like people high on fentanyl taking a dump on the sidewalk in the background or something? Beautiful Seattle.
People were doing a meth deal behind
That
her
would
while
be
she's making her phone
that
call.
would be some horror, huh? They should just go around and just film downtown Seattle and just have Ghostface peek around the corner every once in a while or something.
Cindy's got to dodge a fish at the market getting
Yeah,
thrown.
there you go. He has a good, just a
Yeah, yeah.
face.
For
The
anybody who
face,
doesn't
the
know,
face changes. Just like
if
the
you've never
look of
been to Pike
disappointment
Place,
and
they throw
sadness.
fish. They
Yeah,
don't throw fish at you there.
many times I've been there, I've never seen him throw the damn fish.
No.
Nah,
Oh,
I mean, I didn't really pay attention, but
You're not really missing anything, but
it's like, oh, you threw a fish. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Now, if
Throw
there
it
was
at
some
me.
crossfire, and
Just throw it in the
maybe you'd
back,
be
and yeah.
sad that you missed that.
Like how? I wonder if they accidentally ever like overthrew and like hit
Oh, I'm
some
sure.
some
I'm sure
old
they have.
lady, hit some old lady with a fish and like knocked her wig off her head or something.
I'm sure they have.
I had something like that happen at a restaurant that I worked at years ago. I'll have
Yeah.
to tell you about it sometime. I don't want to waste too much time on air talking about it, but it was pretty funny, and it kind of involved throwing a fish and hitting an old lady in the head. But I'll leave everybody in suspense. You got to go to Patreon to hear this story.
There you go. Yep. You want the
Um,
fish tails? You got to go over there.
yeah. Um, so what else? We had a director, a filmmaker, send us a little movie to check out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was a filmmaker named Michael DiBiasio, I believe it's pronounced. He sent us his film, a funny little horror comedy called The Yorkie Werewolf, which was it is it going to be nominated for an Oscar next year? Probably not. But it was fun.
Yeah.
And I sent it over to you. What did you think of it?
Yeah, it was fun. It was
Yeah.
yeah. I watched it while I was doing the dishes one day. It
Like
was
you're a werewolf
interesting.
guy. You're a werewolf guy. You had to love it. But no, I
Yeah.
I appreciate him sending it over. It was cool. It's the story of it was like in this world like witches and vampires and werewolves and other creatures of the night are at war with like the mob, and somehow one of the witches gets turned into a Yorkie werewolf. Like so she's like small in stature and it's like this little 3 foot tall Yorkie werewolf that was going around fucking shit up. And I thought that was hilarious. Just did you stick around for the credit scene when she's at busting moves and dancing? And
I did
I don't
see
know.
that.
I
Yeah.
think I think it's
Yeah.
funny to watch with like your 10-year-olds and
Yeah.
have some good laughs and good time. And I mean, there's a little bit of language, but it's not. It's a good
Yeah.
entry
Yeah.
level, and I thank them for sending it along and sharing it. And if you guys get a chance, if it pops up streaming, check it out. It's fun. If you need a good laugh and you like a good campy, silly movie, go for it. Like
Yeah.
everybody played their parts pretty well, and it was well shot. It was just a silly, fun movie, and
Yeah, and
some
those kind of movies are fun.
and there's some ass kicking by a miniature werewolf.
That's right. No, those kind of movies are fun every now and then, when
Yeah.
you're in the right mood for them. I mean, there's plenty of free apps that have great content. Like, um, I ran through a bunch of the Bigfoot horror movies on Tubi. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you like a bunch of the names, like the exact names that were great, except for a couple of them. Like Abominable was a fun one, and
What
it
was
was
it?
with Lance Henriksen, and he's like out in the cabin, and he's with his binoculars, and he's spotting a Bigfoot, and he's kind of following it when he can, and watching it like attack another cabin out there in the woods, but he's in a wheelchair, so he can't really do much about it.
Right.
So, I mean, I watched that. That one was cool, but uh, basically, I'm just saying a lot of those free apps will carry movies that'll pass the time for you if you're looking for something just to put on and maybe have a laugh or have some fun scares. Then yeah, check them out.
Yeah, you'll find unlike Tubi and stuff, you'll find a lot of indie horror, which personally I really enjoy. Um, I love because every one of those movies, whether it's awesome or a masterpiece or even bad, somebody created it and put a lot of their heart and soul into it.
Yeah, that's right.
So I enjoy it. I appreciate it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
shit. I been in some stuff that is not perfect, but I enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
wait till you see the the pool shark massacre or whatever it's called. Like the name is slipping my mind, but it's one and I play as a reporter. It's just a short film, but I'm a reporter later in the film, and uh, Lloyd Kaufman voices the shark pool toy that's
That's
going
cool.
around killing everybody. So it's
Yeah.
cool, man. So like,
Nice.
it's fun stuff like that, and uh, MMH put a lot of love into everything he does.
Yep.
Kids made he's probably pushing 300 freaking movies, whether it be shorts or a couple features now, and I just appreciate that stuff. People are just
Yeah.
it's a craft that people are putting love into. It's cool. It's fun, and it's giving wannabes opportunity to be in horror films and
Right.
cool stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, um, Yorkie Werewolf is upper echelon of bad indie horror. I enjoyed it. I do recommend watching it. You're gonna think it's amazing. Maybe not, but it's fun. And that's what's important sometimes. Just be entertained. Like I don't like to if I don't like something, I'm not gonna pick it apart and shit all over it and, blog about, post about it or talk about just trash it on here. If
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it, I'm just gonna move along. Because for the reasons like I said, people are putting a lot of their love into it and heart and soul. Maybe they
Right.
don't have the means to make this big, beautiful masterpiece,
Yeah.
making on micro budgets or making it with nothing, and
At least they're
it's
trying to
wild.
make it with something.
Better than people that aren't doing it but still fucking shitting on this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, CreepIE Con. IE means Inland Empire, which is the area around Ontario, California, just outside of LA. I think it's like 40 minutes from downtown LA or something like that. They have this convention. I think this is like the third or fourth year they're doing it, and it's been growing, and it's become one of the bigger horror conventions in the country. It's like think our show here, Crypticon, CreepIE Con, is probably twice the size.
That's pretty good.
Like they
Nice.
had over 40 celebrities, ton of awesome vendors, and it was cool. It was a nice variety of vendors. Uh,
No, and it kind of looked like kind of as CryptiCon does, it looked like they tried to have one main celebrity theme this year. Um, is it safe to say that Re-Animator was that theme?
um, uh, honestly, the most popular guests were, oh my God, John Bernthal
Oh,
from
right.
Punisher, Walking
Shit.
Dead.
Yeah.
Uh, Sandra Peterson was there one day, Elvira,
Mm.
and I don't know why the guy's name always slips my mind from Saw. Tobin?
Oh, Tobin Bell, isn't
Tobin
it?
Bell.
Yeah.
Yes. His line was nonstop from open to close every day.
Wow.
But the Re-Animator people, Re-Animator is kind of like one of those uh, niche, kind of like a cult following thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big, you know, pop culture phenomenon like fucking Walking Dead or anything. It wasn't the Saw franchise, which is what's going to Saw 47 or something that they're working on. There's a lot of those movies, and
Saw
they're like,
11. Yeah.
the actual studio films. Reanimator was made by, you can hear about our guest on our last episode, Brian Usna. Um, he basically funded it. He found the money to make it happen. He pulled the cast together, brought Stuart Gordon on as the amazing director, and it was basically almost an independent film. But luckily that era it came out, it was VHS days, and everything went to VHS, and managed to be seen that way a lot, and it kind of
Yeah.
grew over the years, and it does have a big following, and they did have quite a few people there to see them. It was Brian Usna, uh, Barbara Crampton, Bruce Abbott, uh, Rick Band, who composed the movie, was there. He was a really nice guy, uh, and Jeffrey Combs. It was basically like cast reunion. They had a big panel and everything because this year is the 40th anniversary of that film.
Yeah.
And last episode you heard about it. We talked about it with Brian. Uh, there is a Ignite Films is putting out the 4K Blu-ray release, which you can order now. Uh, and I'm hearing awesome things about it. My friend Jim Kwan, who works for that company, I got to hang with him a little bit and hear a little bit about it, and they have a lot of awesome features going on it. There's like one you could order that comes with a bobblehead doll,
Huh.
which he brought the prototype and showed me and let me check it out, and it was really cool. And they did a amazing restoration. Uh, Lots of features and interviews and stuff are going to be on the disc, and it's going to be a really cool re-release of this film. And I'm definitely excited to get my hands on it. But yeah, like I said, I talked to those guys a little bit at the convention. That was my main goal, to meet those people, because I had to get my Re-Animator poster signed up by more of the cast, because that's one of my movies I love from the 80s. But yeah, I was invited to come along to join Chad Shares and hang at his booth and promote the Stephen Crypto show. And everybody there was like super cool, and
Yeah. People seem pretty receptive and
they were receptive, interested. I had quite a few people, that already knew about me and knew about the show
cool.
and stuff like that. And
Well, hey,
I
if
got
any of
to,
you guys are listening right now, that you guys went to CreepIE Con, any of you that listen to this show right now, thank you. If you've found us at CreepIE Con, if you found us before CreepIE Con, thank you.
a lot of us, there's a lot of people saying, do you call it CreepIE Con or CreepIE Con? People who run it call it CreepIE Con because the
Do
Inland
they?
Empire, the IE.
All right.
So I try to say CreepIE Con, but I still call it CreepIE Con too. I just call it both. Either way, it's a cool show that people should definitely check out. Like I said, I took the trip down, came back with COVID. That was stupid, and there was a whole bunch of other nonsense around the trip, but the convention itself made it worth it.
You're supposed to
Um,
bring things back from the convention, but I didn't think COVID was one of them.
yeah, I didn't want to. That wasn't part of the plan, but yeah.
How much did you pay for the COVID?
Well,
Is it like a Funko Pop? Like it costs a little bit extra if you have that to
yeah,
get
it's like
signed?
the Chase version or something. No. Hey, freaking actually no, coming back before we talk a little more about the show and some of the people I got to chat with. We apparently got a little bit of dusting of snow in the Seattle area. And because
Definitely.
of that, they limited the air traffic, and so my airline had to cancel.
Yeah.
And so that got canceled, and they were gonna push me to Wednesday morning coming back, which is the day I was supposed to go back to work. And they weren't gonna pay for my hotel if I had to stay. So I had no choice but to switch an airline that was still gonna fly. But that airline had one ticket left
Oh
for
wow.
that flight. And it was a
Wow.
first class ticket, and it cost me $1,000 fucking dollars.
Holy shit, dude.
and I had to get back to work. I couldn't risk losing my job because I've not been there that long.
Wow, man, that's
So I paid $1,000. I was able to cancel the other flight. Cool, it's half of that money back. But
yeah,
had to pay $1,000. Got back. Flight was great. Um, the comfortable first class is legit. Like I
yeah,
fly again. I'm gonna splurge and go first class, but I'm not gonna.
yeah. So,
But
what was
anyways,
nice? What was nice about that? Because I've
I
never.
mean they feed you. The seats are like bigger, more comfortable, and a little more elbow room, and you're not. There's like 2 seats rather than 3 crammed into the row. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was nice, and my big ass
cool.
was comfy. But so yeah, get back. Like, all right, cool. I'm gonna make it back for work. That's what's most important. Get back, land, get off the plane, grab my bag from baggage claim, get in the car, fucking fever hits. And I
Yeah.
was like, damn. And I thought because I thought I was just getting like maybe a sinus infection
Hmm.
because Sunday I started getting like a sore throat and like my nose is burning a bit because um shout out Ronnie Angel, Seattle guy, lives down in LA now. Um he picked me up Sunday and brought me on like a little mini horror location tour. Like we went and saw the Myers house and some of the shooting locations of Halloween, and then like Puppet Master and this and that. I threw like a little half-assed TikTok video up, but um, so we did that, and I was, I figured we were in the area where some of the fires were, so the air sucked. It did suck, and it was,
Yeah.
breathing was a bitch. But I thought maybe it was just that triggered, irritated my nose and throat and stuff. Didn't think none of it. Had a good time. Again, thanks, Ronnie. That was a fucking blast. And next time we're gonna go longer. Um, I mean, I'm kind of bummed though. Right behind the Myers house is this gallery called the Sugarmint Gallery, and it's like a lot of people come from around the world to check it out, and it's all like Halloween and horror themed art and stuff. And I really wanted to go, and we like just missed it. They had just closed like 15 minutes prior,
Oh,
so I missed going in there. But anyways, so yeah, I get back, fever, blah blah blah, all the bullshit starts hitting, and then I go online and see a new friend I made down at the show post about I got COVID and the flu, and I remember talking to him, multiple times throughout the show, and thinking like, damn, he doesn't look that well today. So that's
and he was
probably
trying to
where I
just
got
push
it.
through. Yeah.
I messaged him and I was like, dang, that sucks, dude. I came back with it's like you got COVID. Because as soon as I saw him say he had COVID, I took a COVID test and boom. I never seen a COVID test pick up so instantly. It's like, fuck. So I messaged him. He was like, yeah, I know like 4 other people that ended up getting it. Like, god damn. Anyways, that has nothing to do with the convention. The show itself, that's all the bullshit around it that I've been kind of alluding to. But the convention itself, it was almost worth it. It
So
was worth
before
it,
you
but
got sick, you had a good time.
it was good time. It was worth. I would probably do it again.
Okay.
Not the COVID part though. I won't bring that one back with me.
Now, if you had to,
But
if you went back, but you knew that you were gonna get
I had
COVID.
the option, and I checked the box on the itinerary. Like, would you like COVID again? Like, I checked no.
Yeah.
Um,
Would you
but the
like the
show
COVID
itself was
upcharge?
it was cool, man. There's something different. We have a good horror scene here and stuff, but there it's like more community. And they
Yeah,
have a
I
few
know.
big conventions down there, and like everybody knows each other. And like, I don't think I've ever gone. I'm not going to name any local conventions. Um, Gone to one though, and talked to a vendor and had them be like, "Oh, you like this? You should go check out my friend's booth. It's over there. They have this
Yeah,
kind of stuff, but it's different, and they have this. Or go check out that one." Like, so many people were like hyping other vendors and stuff,
that's cool.
and people wandering around mingling, and like usually hear people just like stay in their space and like it was like fucking this is cool. It's like I need to go back down there again. And there's a lot of people that I've been in contact with since. There's people that I've followed for a while.
Yeah.
Some cosplayers. Like there's this dude who goes by SoCal Leatherface, and he does a really good Leatherface costume. And we've followed each other for a while on Instagram, but I've never met because I've never really been down there and got to hang with him a bit. And he's a cool dude, and he got some roots up here. But Spooky Professor is another cosplayer who I didn't realize that. Oh yeah, we've been social media pals for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody just cool, man. This dude Danny Halloween is like one of the coolest dudes out there. Uh, yeah, but it was cool, man. It was a lot of good vendors. A lot of people really stood out. Just fucking, just cool people, dude. I love the community down there. And
Yeah, I wish we had more of that here. I'm not saying that there isn't one. We do have a horror community here. eh, I just wish that it was a little bit more important in our state. It just
yeah,
seems
well,
like there's just not as much. I mean, California is just such a state for entertainment. It's
that
already known.
just
So
in that area, the proximity to Los Angeles, it's a bigger, more populated community than up
yeah,
here too.
yeah,
But I mean, I'm hearing like people have mentioned that. Like I uh, talked to Sean Clark a little bit. He, from the Thing with Two Heads podcast,
yeah.
and he's like one of the top bookers of talent for these conventions. And he really talked up the new horror con that we have here at the fairgrounds, the Washington Horror Con, and
Yeah,
he really thinks that one could be special, and
that's good.
things could be happening, things could be growing. Hopefully, uh, what we do helps grow that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
we try to do our part to at least gain a little interest in events of that sort.
yeah,
For
yeah,
any of you that listen and you're not aware of these conventions, or maybe you already are, we just try to help to add a little bit more hype to them, and hope that you guys will check them out and then tell your friends and just help that horror scene grow.
yeah. That's it. We want to help them. We want to help the scene, and we want to help the conventions that are, where the people that are creating this stuff we love, where they go and show and bend and stuff. It's a it's good shit, man. But I did get to talk to a lot of cool people, um, meet some cool vendors. Uh, I ran into our friend Miranda from Cadaver Chatter,
Oh,
who we
great.
met at Grit City last year.
Yeah.
Um, got to see her for a few minutes because she's from that area. It's always cool to see people we know.
Yeah, anybody listening, if you didn't check out that episode, we have had her on. It's not too long ago, just a few episodes back. So
Yeah,
just
it might
look
have
for the
been
one
like
with Cadaver
December or
Chatter.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Look for the one with
was it
Cadaver
this?
Chatter
I
and
think that's
follow
the
her on
same one
Instagram.
with. I think that's the same one with Mad Monster Lady too.
It might be,
Might
yeah.
be.
But follow her on
Um.
Instagram. She has a cool show.
Uh. Yeah, but I did get to get a few little on location conversations in with some people that were and were not guests there. Uh. Just randomly. So we chatted with uh one of my favorite artists, guy who's done covers for famous monsters and stuff like that. Trick or Treat Studios, and he apparently has some really exciting stuff coming over the next year. A guy named Terry Wolfinger. Uh, Terry Wolfinger is like he's a portrait artist who does just beautiful, beautiful paintings of pop culture and horror icons. I mean, more horror than anything, but this his stuff is awesome. Like I brought you back a postcard from him, and that art
Yeah.
is like almost looks like damn photos.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful. And just his Trick or Treat studio art alone is pretty impressive. I like it. I like that
Yeah,
style.
they put puzzles and stuff out with his paintings on them. It's pretty cool, man. But chatted with him for a few. Let's just run that, and then we'll come back, chit chat a little more, mention some of the other people we talked to, and do some more shout outs to people down there, and talk about some other interesting ideas that might come to fruition here on the Stephen Crypto Show. So be right back.
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Doug Jones, the tall, skinny, goofy actor who plays lots of monsters and creatures on film and in TV. But today, I want you to know that you are listening to the best podcast on the air, and that would be the Steve and Crypto Show.
Hello, CreepIE Con and Stephen Crypto listeners. I brought the show south and hanging out down here in Ontario, California for, like I mentioned, CreepIE Con. It's different than the cons up there. This is friggin' huge. It's huge. But I didn't realize till first day of the convention that one of my favorite artists was here. So I had to make a point to come by and chat with him and get him on the show for a few minutes because I know his art. You guys probably know it. If you're a fan of, famous monsters, classic monster stuff, if you're a monster kid and you're part of that scene, you know Terry Wolfinger. He's one of the preeminent artists right now in my eyes. And I got him to pop by and let's just start chatting. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. You're too kind.
Don't tell people that. Don't tell people that. They know I'm not.
Right.
All right, but yeah, we took a few minutes of chat before day 3, before everything gets set up and before they let all the customers in, which it looks like they might be trickling in soon.
I think we're good.
Hanging out in your booth, and I'm just kind of overwhelmed by seeing a lot of your art in person that I've only seen online and on covers of magazines. And
Thank you.
we know the art. Tell us about yourself.
Well, how far back do you want me to go?
Preconception object. No.
Well, circling the cosmos.
Yeah.
As a kid, I always liked drawing.
Perfect.
Monsters, Godzilla movies, Ray Harryhausen stop motion movies,
Right.
Sinbad, all that fun stuff.
So what was your first memory of this stuff, this monster stuff? Do you have that? Like, everybody has that moment, like, I watched Abbott and Costello, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that sucked them in.
Yeah, definitely Abbott and Costello would be top, but I think the very first monster movie I saw was actually The Blob, the original Blob.
Okay.
And it freaked me out, and it was weird, and I was like, didn't have a face, but watched it with my brother on our black and white TV.
Yeah.
But then we got into, then I got into Godzilla movies. Those were fun. And then, I saw Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein probably around 8 or 9 years old, and it was like, that was it.
And you were just gone. Were you like one of the kids that grew up with the toys and famous monsters and all that?
No, not so much. I did have a Frankenstein action figure though, and I did build the models.
Right.
Aurora, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Mummy, all those. So yeah, and for a birthday party one time, my dad brought home some 8mm films that he checked out from the library that had clips of like the original Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney and Dracula, Bela Lugosi.
Right.
So we played those at a birthday party one year.
That sounds like a good birthday party to me. I would like that now, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up watching, I loved Laurel and Hardy, and black and white stuff was awesome.
So did you save all your models and all your old toys?
I don't know what happened to them. I have bits and pieces of them.
Yeah.
And then I got into building model cars, and
Right.
that was my other love too, was cars.
Yeah. There you go.
And comic books. I got into superhero stuff. But
So you mentioned you started drawing at a young age. When did you realize that you had a passion for it?
I don't know. I mean, it was always kind of a passion, almost an obsession. Like if my parents were going out somewhere, they always made sure I had like a pad of paper and a pen to keep me happy.
Keep you busy, and it worked. It worked.
Did.
So what point did you realize, like, holy crap, this is a career. This is my life now.
Well, it's funny. My parents were very supportive, and my mom was a huge fan and was like, "Oh, you're gonna be a big famous artist someday." I'm like, "What? No, I don't know how to do that. I just draw. I like drawing." But yeah, I went to I took every art class I could in junior high and high school, and had a great art teacher that I had in both junior high and high school that was amazing, and he saw something in me and helped kind of shape me and encourage me, and like, hey, follow your stuff, because my sketchbooks are really dark and crazy. And,
Right. Right.
But my mom was a little disturbed by that, but he was like, if he's not doing it for real, I don't think there's anything to worry about.
Right.
So he was very encouraging.
It's good that you had the encouraging people. I don't see that as much anymore. Now everybody thinks they could just jump in and become famous overnight or something.
Yeah.
It don't work like that. It's a lot of work. Like your whole life.
No, exactly.
We've been reading when did you start transitioning into painting?
Around, maybe it was around 93, 94. Like, I went and I applied for a job at a video game magazine. They needed a cover artist.
Right.
And they wanted an airbrush artist.
Oh.
And I owned an airbrush, and I kind of used it to paint smoke and stuff.
Right.
But like I wasn't really an airbrush artist. But I told them, yeah, I can do that.
Sure, yeah.
So after I met with them, they gave me a few assignments, like if you can do this, bring them back in a couple weeks. And so I went to a bookstore, a library, like a art bookstore, and picked up how to use an airbrush kit.
So you did the early 90s version of YouTubing it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I practiced it, and then I went and did their projects, and they were like, "Wow, these are great." It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, like I know.
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing.
This for a long time.
Yeah, I think we've all kind of embellished our resumes a little bit here and there.
Right. Yeah, I had an instructor at college who brought in a speaker, and he was saying like, yeah, just when you're going out for art jobs, just say yes to everything, even if you've never done it.
Yeah,
I mean within reason, Like
yeah.
If you say you can weld and you've never welded.
Right. So when did you start? Besides the video game magazine, when did you start getting into Mad Magazine and Famous Monsters and doing work for them?
Well, I was a huge fan of Mad Magazine as a kid.
Right.
In the 70s. I collected them every month for years and years. And I think it was around 2007 or 8, I just kind of started, I've been working on a lot of other people's projects and helping them get stuff going. I'm like, I should start focusing stuff on my project and stuff I want to do. And I got involved with some caricature painting groups that, every 2 weeks you had to turn in a new caricature.
Right.
And so it got me to be quicker about it. And then, I was okay with caricatures, but mine were more realistic than, your...
Right, almost more portrait-like than...
Yeah, and so the more I did them, the more kind of realistic they went, and I kind of just started doing my own thing, and then I worked up the street from Halloween Town, and I had done a few. I did a group show. It was like a dark Halloween show up in San Francisco,
right?
And I think I did a Alfred Hitchcock and a Vincent Price and an Edgar Allan Poe,
right?
And they sold before the show even opened. So
right,
like okay. So I brought some samples.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I've always liked dark stuff. So like, American Werewolf in London is my favorite movie. I love the old classic, Frankenstein, Dracula.
Oh yeah.
So I started doing some of that, and I brought him over to Halloween Town in Burbank, where they used to do group art shows too. And I was like, hey, I hear you're having an art show coming up. Here's my stuff. Can I be in the show? And the owner was like, oh, yes. Are you kidding? Yeah, we'd love to have you. And by the way, we'd love to sell your art in our store. I'm like, okay,
there
great.
You go.
And so I think either the first or second art show there, Famous Monsters magazine came around looking for new artists. Right. And that was the same year that Rick Baker was doing a bunch of stuff too. So I got to meet Rick. And then Famous Monsters magazines approached me like, hey, would you like to do covers for us? And like, let me think.
Yeah, let me think about that.
Yeah, I'll get back to you. So
I'll have my people call your people or something, right?
So I did work for them for a few years until they kind of shut down. But I think I did maybe 20 different covers for them. Right,
and now they relaunched. So
yeah, and so they've relaunched.
You're back at it.
And the new editor-in-chief, Eben Magar, has tapped me. He's like, hey, we'd love you to start doing covers for us. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, I did their first 2 launches, painted them in oils,
right.
kind of like, the old Basil Gogos.
Yeah, they're very. Some of the stuff is very reminiscent and very inspired.
Oh, thank you.
Very inspired. And the toys and the movies and stuff obviously inspired you. Were there any artists? I mean, obviously Basil, but
yeah, Frazetta, obviously.
Right. Right.
And I discovered this amazing German artist, Sebastian Kruger.
Okay.
Who was also a huge caricature guy, but he made these most realistically painted caricatures you've ever seen, like super distorted, but it looked exactly like the person and like felt like it took up real space and had real volume, just how well he painted,
Wow.
So I started collecting all I could of his. Like he's got several books. His first book was, I think it was called Stones. Like it was just like the whole book is full of Rolling Stones portraits.
Right.
Like, or caricatures mostly, but some portraits. But now he's, this is maybe 10, 20 years ago I discovered him, but now he's more of a traditional portrait guy.
Right.
But brilliant.
I have to look him up.
Maybe 2008, I found out he did these workshops. Okay. So I went to Germany and attended his week-long workshop and got to paint alongside him and 20 other people. And that kind of changed my life too.
Yeah. Yeah. In what way how do you feel that?
Well, just, I don't know, when you, like, he didn't like teach a class, but you got to watch his process. And I think that alone was just,
right.
It's like, okay, you just, you're like, I never thought to do it that way, or,
Right, so you're able to adapt some of what you took from there.
Yeah, apply it to my own style.
Right.
And, he's just a super dedicated artist. Like, he's up in the front painting on these huge canvases, and he's, it goes from, like, morning till night,
Right.
It was great. Break for lunch, break for dinner, come back, paint till midnight or later.
It's something to be able to watch somebody that you respect like that work like in front of you. It's
it was great, and he's an awesome guy too, and everybody there was just awesome. People from all over the world, like that I'm still friends with. People from Austria and Germany and Norway, Canada.
That's wild. That's awesome. So this is audio, obviously.
Yes.
If somebody listening doesn't know your work, and I described, the portraiture and stuff, how would you describe your work?
I've had people do interviews with me in magazines. They kind of described it as like elevated portraits of pop culture and movie icons.
Okay.
I've got all the classics: Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, Elsa Lanchester as the Bride of Frankenstein. I've got all the '80s classics. So I just try to elevate it into more. Nothing wrong with stuff that's cartoony or more graphic, like for a T-shirt. But
Right.
I've just tried to apply it. Like, okay, well, how would Rembrandt do a portrait of
Right.
Bela Lugosi? But so yeah, and I try to have fun too.
Yeah.
And
You're trying to have fun, or you are having fun?
I am having fun.
Okay.
But a lot of my source material is like black and white photos, and so I come up with my own color schemes.
Right.
Which is a lot of fun, and my own lighting scheme. Like I'll add backlighting when there's no backlighting, or
Yeah. You could see.
I'll throw an orange glow on someone that wasn't.
You can
there
really
before.
see that in the
Cool.
monster. Yeah, you can see the.
So that's where I have the most fun, is taking the old black and white ones and doing something different with them. Or even the color ones, I'll be like, well, you know what? I'm just going to paint him in blues and purples.
I think that's where I see the Basil Gogos inspiration, because he had a very.
Yeah, I don't go as crazy with the colors.
He almost had like a psychedelic kind of thing.
Yeah, like he was just way out there.
But it was out there. Some of the color,
I try to have him make a little more sense. I mean, but
a little more realism.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, no, Basil was amazing.
Yeah, I love his stuff.
There's no one like him.
No. Like I said, we're here at CreepIE Con. How are you enjoying this show? Have you done this show before?
I did it once last year and had a great time. And so this is my second time here and having a great time, meeting lots of cool people, and chatting with fans. And
Yeah.
So I sell prints, magnets, stickers, little knickknacks, canvases. I sell framed prints.
And of course, if you're not here at the show, you have online availability.
I do. It is wolfinger.bigcartel.com.
All right. Is there anything exciting that you're allowed to talk about that you can mention coming that we might see? I know you had the Trick or Treat Studios puzzles and stuff.
I've got a lot of stuff coming out for Trick or Treat soon. I have some big things I'm going to announce soon. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm Terry Wolfinger on Instagram and Facebook. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what I can say yet.
All right. Well,
then
on. Everybody get on there, follow his Instagram, and he'll keep you up to date. He'll keep you posted.
But tons of stuff coming out next Halloween. So
it's a good time of year for your art, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, is there anything you want to throw out there and add before we?
Just thank you so much for coming by. It was great chatting with you.
All right, let's get ready for the traffic.
Yeah, Sunday. Come down, say hi.
Yeah. All right, we are back. Thank you. It was awesome chatting with Terry Wolfinger. I honestly didn't know that he was going to be at the show until into day one. I was like, holy crap. I heard he was there. Then it took me a while to find his booth, but because I've been a fan of his stuff for a while. He's, the old Monster kids, classic Monster fans. Us folks that like to vote in the rondos and stuff. He's like one of our guys. And it was really cool to get to chat with him. And I'd love to see him up here on a convention.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Cool. Another person I ran into and chatted with was a musician and filmmaker named
someone
Spider
who was
One.
not necessarily a guest there, right?
He wasn't a guest. His wife was a guest.
Yeah.
And who's also the star of his new movie. Spider One from the band Power Man 5000. He's been making films for a while, making music. Super talented guy, really cool dude. Ran into him and asked him if he'd tell us about the new movie, Little Bites, that is coming out on Shudder this month. probably within this week, actually. By the time you guys listen, it might actually be on Shudder. So check out Little Bites from Spider One.
Yeah, he has one movie out on Shudder right now called Allegoria that I haven't gotten to yet, but I plan to check that out soon. And then from the look of what I read online, I think Little Bites should be arriving on the 21st.
Right. And I know you
man,
personally are a Power Man 5000 fan, so
yeah, I mean, I don't listen to them as much anymore, I'll say, but I had a time with them growing up. Like I've probably listened to them off and on since I was 11 years old or so, 10 or 12, something like that. And I mean, I used to buy like the Hit Parader magazines with all the like rock and metal people in them, so you could find out like new albums that are coming out and whatnot. And so that's where you'd find out about like a lot of bands that if you didn't already know about them, like maybe you were already familiar with Rob Zombie or White Zombie, and then you would find out that there was some connection, with this band, and kind of gain some interest that way. And so I've been listening to them for a long time, and I'm intrigued with both of these movies that he's made.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to checking them out.
Yeah, he was a really cool dude, man. Enthusiastic, eager to tell us about the movies. Sounds like he's really proud of it, and he should be, because I actually checked it out, and it was really good. A good, nice, slow burn and build up vampire. Well, I guess it's a vampire. I don't want to give away too much, but check it out. It's cool. It's got Chrissy Fox, his wife, Barbara Crampton. What is the lady's name that played as the nun?
I don't know what her name is.
That lady.
I know some things, but I don't know what her name is.
It was a good flick, dude, and definitely put down your list to watch. It's coming on Shudder really soon. I think you said the 21st. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, he mentions the date it drops in this little conversation too. So let's run that conversation. Quick little chat with Spider One, filmmaker and artist and musician.
Hi, this is Pinna Palmer, aka Sarah Palmer, aka Gwen Gooley, and I am on the Steve and Crypto Show. Tune in very soon, or now, I don't care.
Alrighty, is Steve still hanging out at CreepIE Con, running into a lot of cool people you never know who you'll run into here. So if you are in the Inland Empire next year, come through the CreepIE Con. They have the Aftermath, I think, in May. It's Aftermath in May, something like that. September after May is our show. May is CryptoCon in Seattle. But I ran into Spider One. You know him from Power Man 5000. You know him as, you may not know that he's a filmmaker. And he has a new movie coming out that he's going to tell us all about here real quick before he gets back to his family and stuff. But Spider, thanks for popping in, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. CreepIE Con, or as I call it, CreepIE Con. It's a lot easier, yeah. Thanks for having me on. The movie, Little Bites. It's my third movie now. I've written and directed, and it is. It'll be on Shudder on. I don't know when this will air, but it'll be February 21st, or you could watch it now on VOD. It did a limited theatrical. It's very exciting, man. I mean, we have such a great partnership with Shudder and RLJE, and I mean, just such a great family of people that support and love true fans of horror movies, and so I feel really fortunate to be a part of that whole scene.
Shudder's really becoming a really good platform for a lot of indie filmmakers and just stuff in general. So and the stuff going on there is getting noticed by critics and just not just the horror fans. We know about it, but it's starting to. I feel like horror is going to kind of do something really amazing in the next couple of years, especially with like The Substance, fucking Academy Award nominee, man. 100%. That's so huge for horror. But for you, doing the stuff with Shudder, which is, I think that's like the go-to for everybody now for new horror. Tell us a little about the movie.
Yeah. So like I said, it's called Little Bites, and it's essentially it follows this woman, Mindy Vogel, who is recently widowed and has a 10-year-old daughter. And sort of inexplicably, there's this monster, Agyar, living in the lower floor of her home. And Mindy allows Agyar to slowly eat her flesh. And so essentially, I'm a parent. Anybody out there as a parent understands the difficulty of raising kids. And I wanted to create this sort of allegory for parenthood and the difficulty of protecting and raising a child in this insane world. And so Agyar, this monster, sort of represents all those anxieties. And so Mindy is trying to protect her daughter because, of course, the monster, his ultimate goal is to get to the little girl. And so we follow her on this journey of trying to protect her child. Everyone thinks she's nuts or a drug addict or insane, and she gets Child Protective Services called on her. And all the while she's just trying to save her kid. And I won't give away the ending, but there's a moment in the film. We have Heather Langenkamp in the movie, who is Nancy from the original Nightmare on Elm Street, plays a character that ultimately sort of comes in and bestows some knowledge upon poor Mindy to help her survive and battle this monster. So yeah, it's a pretty dark film. So it's definitely a vibe for sure. Yeah.
I know this is only going audio, but I could tell when you're talking about it, you got this pride, man. Yeah. And obviously, you feel like you got something special here. Shudder picked it up, so that's where it's at. And what's the release date again?
It'll be, it's out. I mean, if you can rent it on Amazon or Apple or whatever now, but it's Shudder. It's this month on the 21st, so it'll be on Shudder as an exclusive for X amount of time. And you're right. I mean, I'm very excited. I mean, it's funny. You start promoting a movie sometimes 2 years after you made it, so you have to sort of put yourself back in that headspace of when you made it. But it's an exciting movie for me. I really love it. The cast is spectacular. Barbara Crampton's in it. Bonnie Aaron's in it. We have these trifecta of horror legends, and Chrissy Fox, who is also a co-producer on the movie, is the star of it. She's in the new Terrifier movie as well. She's amazing. So the whole thing is just I feel really proud of it, and it's a very personal movie for me, sort of based on the subject matter. So yeah, it's exciting. I hope everybody checks it out and enjoys it.
Is there anything new coming down the pike with music?
There's always music. There's always tours. Power Man will be hitting the road this spring for a West Coast run, and then I think we're going to do a bigger tour in the summer. We just put a record out last year, so no new record for a while. But I do have another movie already shot in the can, so that'll be coming out. So there's always something, always busy, always trying to do things, and it's all very exciting, man. Just got to stay creative and stay busy.
Plug where people could keep up on all your work and music and everything.
Yeah, I mean, the usual stuff, Instagram, Spider1 or Powerman 5000. And I mean, that's basically where I put all my info out on. But it's not hard. Throw a rock, you'll find me somewhere. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. It was good to meet you and hear about the movie. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
All right, we are back. Thanks to Spider1. It was cool chatting. I mean, I wish you could have been there so you could have met him too, because I know you're a fan of his stuff, and I like some of their stuff too. They got some cool stuff. I remember I was supposed to see them once at a club back in Providence, Rhode Island. I was telling him about this, and I forgot what band they were playing with. It might have been Stained or Seven Dust or somebody. Mm-hmm. Power Man was opening, and their van broke down on the way to the show. So they didn't make it to get to play. And I was actually looking forward to seeing them, because that's when they were starting to hit with that When Worlds Collide song.
Yeah.
That was all over radio. So I was like,
I
want to see these guys. I remember that song. But yeah, I missed him. I was telling him about that. And he was joking about it, and he was jokingly interview's over. I'm out. I was like, yeah, that was my almost near miss with seeing Power Man. He was like, I'm out. Interview's over. That wasn't on the actual recording, but then we went into it, and it was cool, man. He was a good dude.
Yeah, I definitely wish I could have been there to meet him. That's cool. They got lucky that he was there, and we were able to get that interview.
just random.
Yeah,
I feel like
cool.
that's
He was
probably
nice enough to chat.
I feel like that's probably something that happens in the LA area conventions and stuff. You just randomly run into people and stuff like that. There's another musician there, kind of fits in the hard rock, metal, punky stuff. Is Wednesday 13.
Oh yeah,
who had the band with dude from
Joey Jordison.
Slipknot. Yeah.
Yep.
How are they called? Murder Dolls. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of horror themed glam rock music that's I like. Personally, I like it because I grew up on like all the 80s like hair metal shit, which kind of plays right into this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to chat with him a bunch throughout the weekend. He was a cool ass dude, and I'm hoping to get him on the show because he's about to drop an album and launch a tour.
Okay.
And I mean, he says possibly pass along my info to his publicist, so we'll see what happens with that. But
yeah,
I would like to definitely chat with him. He's interesting and he loves horror, so we could get some good conversation going with him. But he was cool as shit, man. Got to meet a lot of other cool people. No, not celebrities and stuff, but the popular YouTubers, the Grim Life Collective.
That's right.
Got to run a chat with those guys for a minute. Not in the show, but that's potentially could be a thing down the road. But yeah, Mike and Jessica were super cool.
Yeah, they have a fun show. Anybody who's not already familiar, and I'm sure if you're listening to us, you probably already know who they are. But go to YouTube and look up Grim Life Collective.
These dudes, I spent a bunch of time with over the weekend, had this. Their name is slipping my mind. Their actual names, but they have a business called Deadlight Customs.
Cool.
Where they make these cool like dioramas and like these resin casted crazy it's just like dioramas, but they did just some amazing stuff. Like it's really intricate and they like 3D print all like the little details and they just look so awesome. Definitely look them up. Look up Deadlight, DEADLITE Customs on Instagram, and you'll see pictures of some of the stuff they do. And that shit is phenomenal. Like I almost broke the bank, and I was so close to buying. They had this. It was like a ship porthole, and inside of it, it was used like a frame. And inside of it was like cast in clear resin. There was this whole scene, underwater scene. And it was a creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh wow!
Like swimming in it.
That's really cool.
It was fucking gorgeous, and I was gonna fucking use the credit card, man. I was so close.
But then you might have had to sleep in the airport.
No, I would have got home. Like my credit limit's pretty good, but
yeah.
I would have had to get that thing home. I probably would have had to throw away some of my clothes or something, which I would have sacrificed. Because this thing was fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah.
But I just kept, checking it out. And somebody finally bought it. I was so happy. They like saved me from buying it. Because I was gonna, like, I'll send you a picture of it after. But, dude, it was fucking just so detailed and just...
Like, will somebody buy this so I can stop looking at it?
Yeah, but he was like, I'm probably gonna make a couple more. He's like, and I could ship. Like, fuck you.
Don't tell me that.
But no, but
why are you trying to be helpful?
Down the road, I really think it's gonna be something I get. I mean, and he promised me a deal because a homie deal. So Deadlight Customs, check them out. This dude, Sammy Ruiz, he's like a spooky artist and musician. He wants to send some music at some point soon to run on the show, which I'm looking forward to. His art was pretty rad. He was a cool ass dude. Like I said, just the people are all so cool. This illustrator named Jenna Kay, I think that's her name. But she also has a cosmetic company called Spooky Girl Cosmetics, which I had heard of, and I don't wear makeup, but I know art when I see it. And I had been following her company because Sarah Palmer, Pinup Palmer, aka Gwen Gooley from the Sven Gooley Show, did like a shoot with her a while back when she was Lily Munster, and this was like her cosmetic line launch or something, and it was really cool shit. But yeah, I chatted with her a bit. She's cool as hell. Her company's cool. She got nice stuff. You should look it up. I'll send you info for the cosmetic thing. Maybe Sarah might be into her makeup or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Seems like nice stuff, and she uses it's good, safe products and everything. But yeah, her company, and I mentioned that she did that thing, the shoot for her cosmetic line with Pinup Palmer, who actually came out to see me at the show. She's from LA, and she came out and popped by and said hi, and it felt like an old friend. Like, she was really cool, man. Good people.
Oh, good. Glad you knew some people there to hang out with.
Yeah, and I'm really hyped to see what her and the other Sven Squad members do moving forward, because I feel like they're really coming into their own on the show, and they're really developing this really cool rapport with each other, and it's really getting to be really fun.
Yeah,
and it's like cool, like these are my friends, and I mean we can mention it here unless something fails and falls through. We're scheduled to talk with Scott Grider, he's the imp from the Sven Squad, from the Sven Gooley Show. So unless something catastrophic happens and we have to cancel, he'll be here really soon on the podcast. Possibly the next episode. Probably the next episode. But we'll see. Don't hold me to that, but but expect it. What else did I see? Like I said, I was there with Chad Shares all weekend, hanging at his table and helping him slang stuff and pushing the show. And we hung out a couple nights with a friend of his, artist. He's like this super talented, like pop culture themed art guy named Mike Barnard. And like he's like fucking, his stuff was really cool. He's another dude, like they're from like the whole they both done work for like Garbage Pail Kids and stuff. So they're like scene buddies from that scene.
Yeah.
And, Mike was a cool dude. I'm probably gonna post like a little video of like my mini CreepIE Con haul, and you'll see he does this cool thing where he takes Crown Royal bags and he does art on those. And I got this really cool Jaws one that I'll show you later. But yeah, shout out to Mike Barnard. He was a good dude. Kicked it with us. Stayed at the same hotel, so we all went and ate overpriced hotel food every night.
Yeah,
Mike and Chad, and it was a good time. The
good.
hotel was good. Staff was good. Yeah, man, that's overall it was just a good show. I just got a real sense of community from the show, which I really loved, and that's my favorite thing about conventions. But it just felt so much tighter there, which we're gonna fucking make that a thing here. We're gonna bring the people together. The Steve and Crypto Show is gonna bring everybody together, and we're all gonna support each other.
We're doing our part, man. We're trying.
We're all gonna grow. We're gonna grow our businesses and get. I almost said famous, but we're not gonna get famous. We just want we just want to all be appreciated and part of the big spooky family here.
Yeah, we just want to be a part of the spooky horror community with the rest of you guys, and we just love talking about all this stuff. It's fun, man. It's nice escape from the real world. Just bullshit about new movies that are coming your way, and then talking to people to find out what makes them tick.
Yeah.
And we hope you guys enjoy everything that we throw your way.
And you mentioned movies coming our way. I do got to mention, I did talk to one more person at the convention about a movie that's coming our way. It's touring around, showing at conventions and festivals. It's a movie called The Fetus. And it has Bill Moseley.
Oh.
Who we know from everything.
Yeah.
And Lauren Lavera from Terrifier. The filmmaker, director, Joe Lam, popped in, came by the booth and hung out for a few minutes and told us about the Fetus. And listen up to it. He did a really cool promotional thing at the convention that I think you guys are going to kick out of. I thought it was pretty clever and awesome, but we talk about it a little bit on this little chat. And yeah, man, I got no complaints about this convention. Let's run this chat. We'll get back and I'll gush about it for another minute or two, and then we will get ready to wrap up this episode. Because my voice is starting to go. My voice is kind of off and from being sick.
You've been out of commission for a while now.
I was out for a while. I finally got back to work this week, which was good. Yeah, I miss work anyways. Believe that shit? Remember I said I had to pay fucking $1,000 so I can make sure to get back to work on time, and I ended up missing work anyways.
So patreon.com/Steve Crypto.
Yeah, there you go. Buy me a coffee. So yeah, meet Joe Lam, director, filmmaker. Has this really great movie called The Fetus coming. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and yeah, check it out. All right, I'm still hanging out here at CreepIE Con or CreepIE Con, whatever you want to call it. Kind of, wandering around, finding cool people to hype. And I keep seeing on myself, too, wearing a badge, this film coming out called The Fetus. And there's a filmmaker named Joe Lam who is working on this. He did this really cool promotional thing he's doing where he has two young ladies walking around with strollers full of condoms, but they wear these big prosthetic pregnant bellies, and it's just so ironic and hilarious. And I think it's one of the best gimmicks I've seen for a movie. I think we need more movies to have a cool gimmick like that. It reminds me of like old time movies when they had gimmicks and stuff, and I think it's awesome. The film is called The Fetus, and they had Bill Moseley, Lauren Lavera, just awesome cast. But he's going to tell us about the movie and what we expect and when we're going to see it. So, Joe, thanks for popping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me on your show, Steve.
Of course,
you got a great booth here at CreepIE. So
Chad shares. He's the man.
Yeah, so, the Fetus is something that it deals with a young couple who become unexpectedly pregnant, and it's a half human, half demonic fetus with a thirst for blood. And so they have to go to Lauren Lavera's father, who's like a blind World War veteran, and figure out what is going on because, they don't know what to make of it. And it's dangerous to her body.
Right.
And they have to also decide whether it's worth saving or sacrificing. So there's a lot of stakes that go on with this. Right. And even some social commentary as well regarding the pro-choice, pro-life debate issue that, has really torn our nation apart.
Yeah. I think that's one good thing about horror is all the entertaining. We get all the gory and crazy stuff happening, but there always is like a good message in there. Like you say, the social commentary, there's like that underlying thing. That's what I love about horror because that happens in a lot of horror films. But if you don't want a message pushed down your throat like that, you can still enjoy what's happening with the movie. And that sounds like that's what you're doing here. It's an enjoyable story, but there is that little thing injected in there.
Yeah, it's like if you've seen It Follows. I mean, that's a social commentary.
Yeah.
On, when you have sex and there's STDs involved and they're passing it from one person to the other. What are the implications of that? The consequences. And so horror is a great vehicle to deliver certain messages.
Yeah.
And we try not to do it like we're pushing one side or the other. You watch it and you decide for yourself, like, what would I do if I were in that position? And of course, it's not a normal human fetus as well.
Right.
Half demonic, half human.
Right.
So in that case, it kind of puts a little bit of pressure off of it as well, so everybody can enjoy this type of story.
Okay. Yeah. See, I like that. The message is there, but it's not forced down your throat, which can be kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. But what's the latest on the film? Like, is it finished? Is it ready, or is it shopping around, or do you have distribution? Are we going to get a theatrical run? Where's it going?
we met with a lot of distributors, but we weren't happy with the terms, and some of the filmmakers that we spoke with who went through these distributors didn't always have the most favorable outcome. So we were advised by some of those filmmakers, like, hey, Joe, just self-distribute. You can do the same thing that they do. They're just taking a cut. They're being the middleman. And so we just decided, okay, pull up our bootstraps and do all of this ourselves. And that's why we're at here at CreepIE, and we've got a dozen other cons going this year, a lot of it Days of the Dead. And so we are doing things out of the box as well, like what you were noticing, Steve, with the pregnant ladies that are going around with these strollers giving out these condom wallets. That have this thing where if you scan it, you can get entered into a free cabin getaway. And it's a pretty big prize. It's like $25,000 worth of stuff that we give, like props, prosthetics. You can get Lauren Levera's screen-worn wardrobe. You can get like a severed arm. You can get the Fetus, like different stage sizes, mechatronic, where we actually use all of this stuff in the film. And somebody's going to win it.
That's awesome.
You just go to like thefetusmovie.com. And we wanted to do something special for the fans because I don't want to keep all this stuff for myself. I want to give it out. I want other people to experience it. And that's why we're doing this, and to help kind of energize the fan base so they can win something.
Yeah. And the prosthetic pregnant bellies, I was talking to your models you have doing it, and they actually mentioned that it's helped their posture. And so you're doing a solid for them too. So they're out here working for you, but they're going to come out of this feeling stronger. And I couldn't imagine wearing that for all day though. That's crazy. You should have wore one.
Yeah. That would really hurt me too much. Yeah, it was. Women have a certain strength that men don't. That's
so much more badass than us. For real, they're way more badass.
But speaking to what you were saying about the distribution. So yes, we have certain theaters on board. So we are going to be in select theaters March 7th.
Okay.
We're looking to onboard other theater chains. We're talking to some of the bigger ones right now as well. And hopefully we will have a bigger rollout, because right now we're kind of in some Midwest cities. But we want to get onto the East and the West Coast as well.
Yeah. Where are you based here on the West Coast, or?
I'm in Las Vegas.
You're in Vegas.
I used to live in California, but.
Okay. So, do you have like a time frame when you're hoping to have it out there, or do you already have a date launch?
Yeah, we have March 7th.
March 7th?
For those select theaters. And again, as long as we can open up more, then we will continue to expand. And, for announcements, your followers just have to go to our social media to find out the latest updates.
Okay. And where's the social media?
Everything is The Fetus Film. So that's like our website, that's the .com, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. All of it's The Fetus Film.
Okay. Besides Bill and Lauren, are there any other names in there that us horror fans might recognize?
I'm not sure, because they come from different, like the TV background or different genres.
Right.
But our co-lead with Lauren, who plays the love interest, his name is Julian Curtis. We actually have a third poster, technically a fourth poster. Our first poster was more of a concept one with a hand coming out of a baby carriage. And then the second one was Lauren Levera's face on the poster with the shadow of the fetus hand. The third was Bill Mosley's with the shotgun shadow over his face. And then we have the fourth one coming out with Julian Curtis, and it's got a different stage of the fetus shadow over his face. So it's very thematic, that what we did with
you're
the
kind of
character
releasing
faces.
it in stages, and I like that.
Exactly.
Like that.
Like you have stages of pregnancy, so that's how we're releasing these posters as well.
And people can go to the social media and see them as they come out, the images and stuff.
Yeah, we've been releasing them every few weeks. And we have a great poster designer. The first one was a award-winning poster designer. He did my last short film, won 56 awards. He took home a prize for best poster design as well.
Nice.
And the latest three is Creepy Duck. And he did a lot of the Scream and a bunch of other posters. Like, he does it for the big studios. A lot of horror posters that you would actually recognize.
So you're pretty fortunate to actually get him on board with this. That's cool. That's cool, man.
Oh, yeah. He does good work. So we wanted to have something really good for the fans, because that's why I did this. I didn't make this movie for me.
Right.
I already saw this movie, and I'm like, okay, this is powerful enough to spend 3 years or more
Right.
to get this out into the world for other people to enjoy. I could have kept it to myself.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
but
if you saw it in your head and it was, I want to share this, you want to share it with people, and that's cool, man. I like that.
Exactly.
I like that. Well, one more time, mention the social media, let everybody know where to follow and keep up. If there's any place they could sign up for an email list or anything, let them know.
The best place right now is if you go to thefetusmovie.com. That is their $25,000 grand prize giveaway. You can enter into that. You'll get a entry point, and you have the opportunity to take some social actions and build up more points, or make purchases for merch on our website and get more points.
Nice.
And besides that, you can go to our website, thefetusfilm.com, and all of our socials, The Fetus Film.
Okay. Well, Joe Lam, thank you for popping by, man. Hopefully the movie does well. It sounds good. I'm excited, and I can't wait to see it.
Thanks for your support, Steve.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
Alrighty. We are back. Like I said, I'm going to gush about CreepIE Con for a few more seconds. It was awesome. Check it out. The people who run it are good people too. Everything about the show is awesome. And not taking away anything of our shows here. Because still, CryptoCon Seattle is still the closest to my heart.
Oh, yeah, man. We love our local horror conventions.
That's my home away from home. But I just really had a good first experience down in Southern California, and I can't wait to go back down there and meet some of my new friends and hang with some of them and have a good time. But with that being said, conventions, we talk about them a lot here. It's a big part of our show. It's a big part of the whole horror, fandom, culture, genre. It's a way for all us fans to come together and appreciate and celebrate this stuff that we love. And I know a lot of people listening go to horror conventions. So I thought of a really cool idea for a cool future segment on this show. What if some of our listeners that attend horror conventions, what if you guys go to these conventions and come back as like a correspondent type thing and go to your show, enjoy it, come back and come on a show. Tell us about the convention you went to for 10 or 15 minutes. Come hang with Steve and Crypto. It's our way to showing, this is our show. You guys, listeners, this is your show too. We want you guys to be part of it.
Yeah,
so
we want to include you. This is how we're doing it.
You go into a horror convention, hit us up. Be like, hey, I'm going to this show. I want to come and talk about it with you guys.
Who did you meet there? What kind of merchandise did you buy? How long did you wait in line? What kind of snacks did you get? How long did you wait in line for those snacks?
Yeah, how clean were the bathrooms at that convention?
Yeah.
So if I ever decide to go there in the future, I want to know I could poop in a safe, clean bathroom.
Did their Panda Express also have meth in the bathroom? Yes or no?
We should tell that story on Patreon. that's one that let's do on Patreon soon. Let's talk about some interesting convention and event stories that were good or bad, just for the hell of it, because sometimes I still laugh at some of these stories, and I think that's one of them.
Hey, if their convention has pretzels that are actually decent and they don't make a sound when you hit it on the table, then they're already a step above some of our conventions here.
And it sucks because that's another one of our favorite shows. But we're not gonna.
No, nobody's naming names here.
But if you want to be like a part of the team, a correspondent, and come on and tell us about your convention experience that you go to, hit us up. Let us know in advance. We'll hype it on the show like, go check out so and so. Because, as a matter of fact, we already have the ball rolling on this whole idea. If you're a patron, you heard my conversation with Daniel Haynes. He's an author and follower of the show. But I wanted to chat with him and hear his story about who he is and then talk about some of the stuff he's working on. Which he did. We ended up doing like a 2-part conversation. Guy sure fucking talks a lot, let me tell you. But no, he's going to listen to this and hear this and be like, fuck you, Steve. But no, he's going to cover the Evansville Horror Con in Evansville, Indiana in March. He's going to go and come back and tell us about it. And it sounds like it's going to be a cool show. A lot of our buddies are going to be there. Brett Wagner, the Big Schwag, Felissa Rose, Dave Sheridan, Danielle Harris, Tyler Main. There's like a really cool lineup of guests. So he's going to go and come back and tell us all about it. But yeah, if you guys want to do something cool like that with us, let us know. We'd love to have you on a show. But with that being said, we love horror. We love conventions. We appreciate you guys for listening. Of course, we encourage you, if you can, to join our Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you could support the show. Keep us going. Keep us being able to attend these shows and re-upping our merch and this and that and the other thing. And speaking of merch, we have the merch page. Go to Etsy, search Steve and Crypto merch. Get a hold of some of our merch, t-shirts, mugs, all kinds of cool stuff over there. I did slip in a joke about the Buy Me a Coffee page, which we don't use that much, but there is one, buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto. You can go there and basically tip us. And what else? We're on social media. He's CryptoZoo88. The Steve Strout. We're on like all the social media outlets. I'm even on freaking TikTok with all the youngins posting half-ass videos. Like I just posted a couple slideshow from my my trip with Ronnie around the Halloween locations. But with all that being said, we want to thank you guys again for listening. We are the Steve and Crypto Show, and we will see you guys back on the next episode.
All right, we will catch you next time on episode 162.